Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be giving you the latest news regarding Alexis Sanchez, because a bit more additional information is updated about him. Then I am going to be giving you some latest news on Jadon Sancho. There is positivity coming out regarding Jadon Sancho from our perspective. Then I'm going to be talking with you a bit more about David De Gea, because I've been talking with you about him on a regular basis and that. Of course, I did my preview this morning for the Manchester United-Sheffield United game. I presume that Solsjaker will be doing his press conference for that game either today or tomorrow. It is on Wednesday, 6 o'clock kickoff. So anyway, let's delve into the news on Alexis Sanchez. So, according to recent reports, the Brazil legend Ronaldo has offered Alexis Sanchez an escape route to Real Valladolid. Valladolid. It is, of course, a Spanish team. He's currently, the owner of Real Valladolid is, Ronaldo. But he's offered Alexis Sanchez an escape route anyway. So, this could be positive news for Manchester United, because obviously, we are looking to get rid of Alexis Sanchez or on a permanent transfer, or we are looking to loan him out for next season. As it stands at the moment, Sanchez is on loan with Inter Milan. He has endured a very, very difficult time at Inter Milan. He's hardly played for Inter Milan, because don't forget he was out for around 3 months with a dislocated ankle. Sanchez did endure a difficult 18 months at Manchester United. Don't forget we got him in January 2018 as part of a swap deal of Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal. When we signed Sanchez, we thought it would have been an exceptional signing, and we thought he would have lived up to expectations. But obviously, he didn't. Sanchez at Man United failed to rediscover the form that he produced at Arsenal and, Barcelona when he was younger, when he played under Pep Guardiola's guidance. Sanchez has still got a contract with us until 2022. He did say the other week that Sanchez will be coming back, or is likely to come back to Manchester United after his loan spell with Inter Milan. But we'll only take him back at the football club if he is willing to accept a squad role. So that's obviously, like a backup. Solskjaer did say back in January, that Sanchez will come back to prove everybody wrong. Now, it did recently say as well that Inter Milan have been in negotiations with Manchester United over extending Alexis Sanchez's loan for another season. We know that Sanchez is going to stay on loan with Inter Milan for the remainder of this season. Sanchez did join Inter Milan on a 10-month loan last summer. He joined them on a 10-month loan last summer. Obviously, Inter Milan have got no option to buy, or there's no obligation for Inter Milan to buy Sanchez, at the end of the loan. Inter Milan, I don't think, will get Alexis Sanchez permanently. So there you go. And of course, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages, even though he is on loan at Inter Milan. I still think we're paying like £300,000 of his wages, and Inter Milan are paying like the other £100,000. But, his wages at Manchester United, I think, are 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, based on the image rights and the bonuses. And Sanchez now is in his early 30s. So that's the latest news on him anyway. Brazil legend Ronaldo has offered him an escape route to Real Valladolid. So, could Sanchez, be possibly, going there? There were stories coming out a while back saying that, Sanchez, could go back to Italy. I think he played in Italy, when he was a lot younger, did Sanchez, with under knees. But I don't want him back at Manchester United. In his 18 months at Man United, I think he made around 45 appearances in all competitions. But when he was with us, he did sustain, quite a few injuries. So anyway, that is the latest news on him. Now, let's delve into the news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So, Borussia Dortmund have revealed their asking price. They do now want £90 million for Jadon Sancho. And I think, Manchester United are close to getting him. It was Christian Fark, the German football expert, who's recently announced this, saying that Borussia Dortmund, will accept £90 million for Jadon Sancho. He's head. Jadon Sancho's head is obviously, with Manchester United, like it has recently confirmed. Don't forget, Fabrizio Romano came out as well not too long ago, who's a very reliable Italian journalist. And, Fabrizio Romano did say that, Jadon Sancho will accept an offer from Manchester United. He did say we've not yet put an official bid in for the player. He said the contract is not a problem. It's been Borussia Dortmund's asking price, that has actually, been the stumbling block because, Borussia Dortmund have said for so long now that they do want at least £100 million for Sancho. Of course, there was reports coming from the Telegraph the other week saying that, Borussia Dortmund, want £150 million. Of course, it did say, we were struggling to pay that fee. Now, don't forget, Borussia Dortmund recently played RB Leipzig. They did win by 2-0. Jadon Sancho was benched in that game against, RB Leipzig. And, Borussia Dortmund give the main explanation, why he was benched, because I think he was tired and all of that, and he's obviously, his head is with Manchester United. Michael Zorg, the Borussia Dortmund sporting director, he also made an admission saying that Borussia Dortmund are concerned about Jadon Sancho's future. Earlier on this month, Sebastian Kehl, Borussia Dortmund's head of football, he said, Sancho will stay at Dortmund for another year. And also to Lucien Favre, the Borussia Dortmund boss, he said not too long ago that, Sancho could still leave in the summer transfer window. Now, I think Borussia Dortmund did say that they are convinced they can keep Sancho, but Sancho's actually, revealed his preferred option is a move to Manchester United. I think he's already confirmed his next club, and it is Manchester United. Obviously, I did outline quite a few of the reasons, why it's beneficial for us to recommend him in. Because, Jadon Sancho will dramatically improve us. He'll dramatically improve us. Plus, he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. I think he has actually, been in regular contact with Rashford. And Sancho is well proven in the Premier League. But we've said, we're not willing to pay £100 million for the player. But Jadon Sancho is our number one priority target. There were stories coming out not too long ago as well, saying that Sancho is willing to make a return back to Manchester City, as we was struggling to pay his fee. Don't forget, Sancho is a former Manchester City player. Of course, Sancho did endure 2 years at Manchester City, but the main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he didn't get any first-team opportunities at Man City. I think, Borussia Dortmund have been in the process of trying to extend his contract. Sancho has got a contract with Dortmund still until 2022. This has been Jadon Sancho's third season with Borussia Dortmund. And analysed his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. I think he's been a revelation since his arrival in Germany. Dortmund only paid $8 million for him from City, so if Dortmund selling for £90 million, they're still going to make a huge profit on the player. Don't forget as well, we've already made a promise to Jadon Sancho that we are willing to offer him the number 7 if he comes to Manchester United in the summer transfer window. We have got number 7 vacant at the moment. And like I said to you before, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, but our recent number 7s haven't been so good. They haven't been so good and all of that. Like I said to you as well, the other week, Borussia Dortmund did say that they was losing patience with Jadon Sancho, something to do with his off-field distractions. I think the other week Sancho had been fined around £8,000 for breaking lockdown rules. But yeah, Borussia Dortmund are known as a selling football club. They have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. Obviously, they let Christian Pulisic go. They also let Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang go. They also let Ilkay Gundogan go, Mkhitaryan. Who else? There's quite a few players, they have let go to the Premier League, but there's players as well that they've let go who didn't go to the Premier League, and that was Ousmane Dembele and Matt Hummels. There again, Borussia Dortmund have recruited quite a few players in recent years, because they generated a lot of money, for the players, that they have let go. The players that they have recruited in recent years is Thorgan Hazard, Julian Braun, Emre Can, he's another one as well. And Erling Haaland, Borussia Dortmund got him in January. Erling Haaland and that. But yeah, we have been in for Jadon Sancho for a while now. We first expressed our interest in him in 2017 under, the Jose Mourinho era. It did say, quite a few months ago that Jadon Sancho had agreed almost every detail of a move to Manchester United. It actually, said everything had been agreed except the fee. But like I mentioned earlier, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has, been the stumbling block. But Sancho does want to come to Manchester United. There were stories coming out the other week saying that Liverpool were leading the race for him. But it says Liverpool's move for Sancho depends on Sadio Mane. Obviously, Chelsea have been in for him for a while as well. I think he was a boyhood Chelsea fan, was Sancho, but he's no interest in going to Chelsea. Don't forget, Jadon Sancho began his career in London with Watford, and he was at Watford for several years. But he has had a long-running transfer saga. So I'm still very, very hopeful that we can get Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. But, there has been a few alternatives to Jadon Sancho. So if we fail to sign Sancho, then we're looking at alternatives to him. And these cheaper solutions in Jadon Sancho, we've been looking at Leon Bailey recently from Bayer Leverkusen. Reportedly, he's available for around £40 million. Ansuman Fati Vieira from Barcelona. I'm going to fully disregard him now to Manchester United because, one, he's said that, he's no interest in leaving Barcelona, and two, we'll have to smash our transfer record. We'll have to pay around £350 million to get him on the board. So there you go. So anyway, that is the latest news regarding Jadon Sancho. But I want him at Man United. He's only 20 years of age, is he? And plus, he's predominantly a right winger as well. So there you go. Now, let's give you the news regarding David De Gea. So I think Ole Gunnar Solsjaker has got a big decision to make on David De Gea. Obviously, David De Gea is going to be our number one goalkeeper for the remainder of this season. Because obviously, Dean Henderson is out on loan with Sheffield United at the moment. Of course, this has been Dean Henderson's second season on loan with Sheffield United. I've got to make an admission, he has been Sheffield United's player of the season as Dean Henderson. He's had quite a few other loan spells as well as Dean Henderson. He had loan spells with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. Chris Wilder did say he's very confident that Sheffield United can extend Dean Henderson's loan for the remainder of the season. But yeah, so this is why David De Gea is going to remain our number one goalkeeper for the remainder of this season. But Dean Henderson, could actually be our number one goalkeeper next season, because Solskjaer did say that he expects Dean Henderson to be our number one goalkeeper and England's number one goalkeeper in the future. Like I said, he's still got a contract with us until 2022. But revert back to what I said, we've got to make a decision on David De Gea. His transfer looks inevitable, at the moment. I don't think we'll sell David De Gea in the summer transfer window. I think if we're hard to sell him, I think we will sell him sometime next year. Now, David De Gea is now into his 9th season at Manchester United. So he has been a long servant at the football club. He's approaching his 10th year now at Manchester United. Like I've said to you before, I think David De Gea has probably had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at the football club, because in the last couple of years he's been a liability. Reflects on, the amount of mistakes he has made, and, he has been criticised for this. Don't forget, on Friday, Roy Keane had criticised David De Gea. He also criticised Harry Maguire, and he also criticised Luke Shaw, because they were accountable for Steven Bergwijn's goal. Because Luke Shaw shouldn't have headed it on. Harry Maguire should have trapped Steven Bergwijn down, and David De Gea, should have saved it. So that's the main explanation, why that trio are accountable. But he was saying, Roy Keane, like, David De Gea and Harry Maguire should get the taxi back home, back to Manchester, I think he said, sorry. He said David De Gea is overrated. And he did say, he's sick to death of this goalkeeper. Now, I've got to agree with him on that aspect because, he has, he deserves to be criticised, but maybe you can say as well, Roy Keane went a bit too far, Solsjaker came out and defended, David De Gea, saying that he wasn't sure if David De Gea, would have been able to stop that. But David De Gea, is still regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, reflecting on, what he's achieved at Manchester United because he has won everything here domestically. He's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the past 6 years, reflecting on his good run of performances. And he's nearly made 400 appearances for us in all competitions. And I think he's kept over 100 clean sheets in all competitions as well. Don't forget last year, David De Gea signed a new long-term contract with the club. And he is on 375 grand a week. So he is the highest paid goalkeeper in the world. And he is, the highest paid. He is the highest paid at the football club is David De Gea. He's been here since the Ferguson era though. We paid just £17 million for him from Atletico Madrid. And I said, didn't I, when David De Gea leaves Manchester United, I think he will go back to Spain because he began his footballing career in Spain. Born in Spain as well. Plus, back in 2015, he was so close to joining Real Madrid, but, due to a fax machine on deadline day, the deal never materialised, so he ended up staying at Manchester United, and David De Gea is now in his late 20s, so Solskjaer has got a big decision to make on him, and, Alan Shearer has also come out and mentioned this as well. So that's the latest news on that, but, there's quite a few decisions, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to make. Not only the goalkeeping decision, I think he also needs to make a decision at left back. We've got Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams that are our left backs. I think for the remainder of this season, Luke Shaw will be our first choice, will remain our first choice left back. But I think maybe next season, Brandon Williams, could be our, number 1 left back. He's also got to make a decision. He's got to make a decision out of Lindelof and Bailly as well. Obviously, we know that Lindelof and Harry Maguire have been our first choice centre halves this season, but maybe now Bailly could become our first choice centre half, and then Lindelof could be the backup. So that's a decision he's got to make. I think he's got to address the midfield as well. Maybe Solskjaer does need to work out his best midfield trio. I think our best midfield trio is Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba and Scott McTominay. Some United fans will say it's Bruno Fernandes, Pogba and Nemanja Matic. Because Nemanja Matic has done very, very well for us and his stability has been very, very good. And some will say Bruno Fernandes, Pogba and Fred. But I'll stick to, the first one. Probably he's got a decision to make on Daniel James as well. I think, Daniel James could start being dropped. And, we could actually, play Greenwood ahead of Daniel James. Probably got to make a decision on Anthony Martial as well. Because some United fans think that, Martial is not an automatic starter. He has been starting a lot this season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So there's definitely, decisions that, he has got to make at Manchester United. So, let's wait there a second. So, there you go. So, there you go and all of that. And, Man United, of course, have got Sheffield United on Wednesday at Old Trafford. Like I said to you, it is a 6 o'clock kickoff. It is a must-win game for Manchester United, obviously, to keep our top 4 ambitions alive. As it stands now, we are sitting 5 points behind top 4 because Chelsea, did beat Aston Villa 2-1. So it is a must-win game for us because, we do need qualification for the Champions League for next season, so we can enjoy the perfect summer transfer window and we can attract players to the elite level. And plus, if we get qualification for the Champions League, we will generate money. Let's put that into the equation. But we are definitely, still in that top 4 race. We've obviously got other priorities as well. Definitely, the FA Cup is a priority for us. The FA Cup is a priority for us. We are into the quarter-finals. We do play Norwich at the weekend. In reality, we should be progressing to the semi-finals. We are into the last 8 of the Europa League, more or less, because we are 5-0 up against Lask from the first leg. So, if we could win FA Cup in the Europa League and get top 4, it would be a fantastic achievement for Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Plus, it would be a memorable first full season for Solskjaer at Manchester United. Like I said, we're sitting 2 points ahead of Sheffield United at the moment. The reverse fixture between Sheffield United and Man United was 3-3 at Bramall Lane. That was earlier on in the season. Don't forget, we was 2-0 down in that game. But we did show good determination to get us back into that game because we scored like 3 times in 7 minutes. But, we did concede late on. Like I've said to Sheffield United have enjoyed an exceptional season. This has been their first time in the Premier League since the 2006-2007 season. And I've got to admire Chris Wilder, because he has done a very, very good job with Sheffield United. This has been his 4th season with Sheffield United. I think he got appointed in the Sheffield United manager in 2016. Sheffield United is the 5th club in his managerial career because before he was at Sheffield United, he was, I think, Oxford. He's been at Northampton before, Halifax and Alfred Town. I think he began his managerial career at Alfred Town. And I think Sheffield United are like sitting, 7th in the Premier League. So if they were to beat us on Wednesday, they would go a point above us. But I don't see Sheffield United getting qualification for the Champions League. If they did, that would be a fantastic achievement for Sheffield United. But they've definitely exceeded expectations because, like I mentioned, no one expected them to be in that position, that they're in at the moment. Since the season resumed, Sheffield United have done bad, though, in the first 2 games. Obviously, they did lose to Newcastle yesterday by 3-0. Sheffield United got a man sent off, was it John Egan? So he's going to be suspended for the game on Wednesday. Also, too, they did draw with Aston Villa, was it last week? Sheffield United will feel as though they was robbed in that game. They actually should have won that game against Aston Villa and all of that. Sheffield United, I think, have got David McGoldrick, is it, out? He's been injured for them. Like I said, they've got John Egan now suspended. Jack O'Connell, I think he's got an injury for that Sheffield United. But yeah, like I said to we've got a very, very good record against Sheffield United. We have won our last 7 home games against them in all competitions. Sheffield United. We've won our last 7 games against them at home. The last time Sheffield United beat us in the league was back in 1973, which I think, was 2-1 to Sheffield United. I think that's a good, 47, 48 years ago now, the last time they beat us in the league. But the last time they beat us overall was in the FA Cup back in 1993. We did play Sheffield United at Old Trafford back in 2016. We did beat them by 1-0. I think, it was under the Louis van Gaal era. And I think we have beaten Sheffield United on 44 occasions. Sheffield United, have got good players in their team. They've got the likes of McBurney, they've got Norwood, Jack Rodwell, Phil Jagielka. Obviously, Sheffield United have got that Billy Sharp. They've got that Lundstrom as well. They've also got Musset. That's another good player, Sheffield United have got. But I'm very, very convinced, we can beat them at Old Trafford. I think this is going to be the first time ever, by the way, we're going to be playing behind closed doors at Old Trafford. Like I said, Solskjaer will make changes from the 1-1 draw with Tottenham on Friday. I think he'll probably make around 3 or 4 changes in that. Obviously, you saw my starting 11 prediction earlier on. I think Bay will come in for Lindelof. I think, Fred will be dropped in the game against Sheffield United. I don't think Fred will start. He wasn't so bad against Tottenham, I just don't think he'll start against Sheffield United. I think Pogba will come in, Pogba will start because Pogba, didn't start in the game against Tottenham, but he did come off the bench. And obviously, Paul Pogba made a fantastic impact, when he came on in the game draw against Tottenham. You can say it was Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes that had salvaged us at that point at Tottenham on Friday. Like I said, I think Greenwood will come in for Daniel James. So definitely no changes will be made. Phil Jones, Alex Tuanzebe missed the game against Tottenham on Friday because, they'd been out with injury. But, we beat Sheffield United. It will extend our unbeaten run to 13 games in all competitions because we are unbeaten in our last 12 games now in all competitions. And that is our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solsjaker was the interim manager and all of that. So there you go. So the build up to the Sheffield United game. Of course, I'm gonna give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. When he does his press conference and that. Like I said, there's decisions Manchester United have got to make in the summer transfer window. What players we're going to recommend in, and of course, what players we are going to get rid of. I think we're going to get rid of at least 5 players in the summer transfer window, so we'll generate money in that aspect. We'll be looking to get rid of Phil Jones. We'll be looking to get rid of Smalling and Rojo on permanent transfers. And we'll be looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard. We'll also be looking to get rid of Andres Pereira and that. By the way, we've still got to make a decision on Angel Gomez. Solskjaer did say in his press conference prior to the Tottenham game that Angel Gomez was close to signing a new contract with Manchester United, and I think the latest contract we've made is around £30,000 a week. We have put forward though quite a few contract offers for Angel Gomez and that, but we do want him to stay at the football club. So we've got to make a decision on him. So at least 5 players are going to leave Man United in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer has said he wants to make around 3 major signings or 4 major signings at the end of the season because he believes we need this, to become title contenders next season. Because our expectations next season, will be to challenge for the title. I said, didn't I? Our expectations at the start of this season would have been to get the top 4 and, maybe, get some silverware on the board. And, like I said, Solskjaer could still exceed these expectations. But, this has been the 7th season now. We have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So that just, indicates how inconsistent we have been for the last 7 years or so. The question is, can we get our 21st title under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? We have won 20 titles at the moment, 13 of them Premier League. So we are the most successful team in England. And, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. And of course, Solskjaer has identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. He wants to still get a striker in, I think, even though Rashford's obviously, now back and, Ighalo, as you all know, extended his loan the other week. Of course, we're looking to get a right winger in. We're also looking to get a midfielder in, and Solskjaer's still in search for a centre half, even though we have got a lot of centre halves in the team. But the summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. And like I said, Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at Manchester United. He does deserve at least another season at the club. And he does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows because it is a transition period. And like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. Like I said, Solskjaer was so close to getting sacked earlier on in the season, and at that point there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in. There was talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in as well. But I've already outlined a few of the reasons. What saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Man United. Definitely the sign of Bruno Fernandes has saved his job. And I think, with the wins against the likes of City and Tottenham earlier on in the season, they also saved his job as well. And also, with him being a club legend, that could also play a part in it as well. But we've been exceptional against the big six sides this season. We've taken, 18 points against, the top six sides this season. But like I've mentioned on my recent videos, I've definitely seen improvements under Solskjaer. Like I said, we've definitely improved in the transfer market under him. Solskjaer has got the players that he wanted in. Because so far he's recommended 5 players into the football club and spent just over £200 million on them. Last summer he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And of course in January he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odi Nagalo in. Definitely players have improved under him as well. Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the dead wood since he got recommended into the football club. Solskjaer's also promoted the youth well, so I've got to credit him for that. The likes of Greenwood's done well this season, Brandon Williams has done well, but there again, some young players, have actually, found game time difficult. Gomez, Chong, and James Garner, they've found game time, very, very difficult. Solskjaer's been at the football club now around 18 months, or just over 18 months. So these positives, you can take from his tenure so far. Like I said, earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. Like I said, Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, 3 managers have been sacked since the Ferguson era, and that was David Moyes. He enjoyed 9 months at the club. Louis van Gaal, he enjoyed 2 years at the club but did win the FA Cup under him. And Jose Mourinho, he got sacked after 2.5 years, but he did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season at Manchester United, Mourinho and all of that. So we haven't really, got the structure to keep sacking managers. But in the last 7 years, we've spent close to the £1 billion range. We've recruited over 30-odd players in and that. And obviously, reflecting on the money we've spent in the last 7 years, we should be in Liverpool's position. I think one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent for the last 7 years is because, with the amount of mistakes that Manchester United have made, you can say maybe we made a mistake by giving Solskjaer the job permanently, but we give him the job permanently reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager. Maybe there's players that we've brought in over the years, who we shouldn't have brought in, but on the other hand, there's players who we've brought in, who we shouldn't have got rid of. Obviously Ferguson made a mistake by recommending David Moyes and that, so there you go. And like I said, we've been critical of Ed Woodward and the Glazers for several years as well. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.